welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and here I am with my pattern I created. And well, there's so much kind of going on here, but I have plenty of time to talk about it because even with this sped up as fast as I possibly can, I still have all kinds of time. There's like, I don't know, still crazy. Anyways, um, just two colors, very relatively sort of easy. Um, I did make a number of mistakes. I probably had to take out a knot here or there about 6 or 8 times. It is truly a very complicated pattern. However, I know that I mentioned in the pattern that I had anticipated having to cross off areas that were done, but because it has these like jagged rows or whatever, it was really easy to look at the pattern and be like, oh, I know where I am. Okay. And then what happens? Okay, it's this, and being able to go with it. In fact, I kind of feel like if I made a couple of these, I probably wouldn't even need to look at the pattern anymore. It's really kind of not that bad. But that said, I still made mistakes. And one of the primary things I made mistakes with is the light color at the end. In fact, I think it's wrong right there. Yep. I stopped it and flipped it. Is making the light color zigzag back inwards. That was just a running theme throughout the whole thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's gorgeous, right? However, if you kind of look at it, you might say, wait, something's wrong. And there is. And I have a good reason for this. Okay. When somehow, when I was doing up the math and trying to figure out how much string I needed to make this, I thought I only had enough to do it single stranded. So I built a pattern based on single stranded. And then I passed the Kumi over to Mandy. She put it together and I get it back. And I suddenly realized, wait a second, this is doubled up. This is totally different. And if I tried to use the single stranded pattern for this, it would be too long. I'd run out of string. So I had to go back to my pattern and then find where the center was and then count up it's typically like 21 rows, like just in one path. I know that some people count it going off of both sides. That's not how I count. So I had to go 21 up, figure that out, and do the thing. So I recreated the pattern for the strings that I have, and I got working on it, and I got most of the way done, but not finished. And then when I say most of the way, I mean it was like somewhere well beyond the halfway point, but whatever. So like, that's fine. The next day, I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on it again. Now, of course, in between times, right, I turn off my computer. So when I turn back on my computer, it doesn't just bring back my image that I was working from. So I went and I have a folder for the project and stuff. And I opened up the pattern. I saw where I was. I got working on it. And because the patterns are identical between the single strand and the double strand, the bottom area, I worked from the single strand, which ends at a slightly different note. Oops. So yeah, I don't have the symmetry that I really love. And that kind of bums me out. It's not the end of the world. It still looks awesome, but it did make the bracelet longer than it should have been, which I totally can spot that. Like if I put it on me, it's almost too big. So anybody with like a smaller wrist, this would be a thing. But yeah, I mean, it's done. I learned a lesson. Yeah, it is what it is. Um, Again, it is a super pretty pattern. Any two colors of contrast would be fun. It was kind of inspired by I don't know if you can see it. It's right there. That's the wall hanging where I did it without a stick. Parts of it has a similar thing kind of going through it. And I was just like, it would be kind of neat if the thing was, kind of different and kind of worked out like how I thought it would be different. And that's how this came about. So, yeah. Like I said, I do really like the pattern. I really do think it's fun. I hope you guys like it and we'll give it a try. I would love to see it in some other colors. Obviously, blues and red, like that thing. Super cool. Actually, so yeah, that was the one that it's got a little bit of the elements in there, sort of off here on the edge. And I was thinking like that would be really kind of cool. But yeah, that's where actually looking at this, I could see where I could actually change this up even a little bit more. Yeah. Yeah, I think I think we're going to get another pattern out of this one, guys. So yeah. Um, Mind you, somebody offered to buy this one from me, so we'll see where that goes. I don't know if they're serious or not. We'll find out soon, I guess. Um, Oh, I think I just got the message that from that. So yeah. Um, but yeah, work first. What else can I tell you? So yeah, the little zigzag things here, they I really don't think there was a better way of segmenting, and I don't think there was a better way of knowing that you're on the right track. Because when you have it right, the dark ones make the straight row coming across. So that was pretty cool. I definitely that helps kind of, and it helps let you know like where you are in the overall scheme of it. Um, I'm trying to think like what else was like super hard about this. I'm not gonna. Oh, see, yeah, there was a mistake. I started bringing the brown out instead of. I confused like which way the zigzag on that went. Um, so yeah, that's one. You do really have to like look at the pattern a lot. Like that's. Oh, by the way, this was 250 minutes, so like over 2 hours, right? No, wait, 60, 120, over 4 hours to make this. So yeah, that's it's a big project. It's a lot of work. And yeah, I mean, I kind of knew that kind of going into it. I knew that this was going to be a bigger thing and you know harder to do and it is truly it is advanced. There's no question in my mind this is advanced. Um I don't know. I don't know what else I can really tell you about it. There's I think right there yep. I was gonna say there was another mistake. There was a lot of times where I just stopped it because I had to like find where the needle went and stuff. Um, just and that again, that was probably my biggest problem was those spots is where is how that has to bounce back, and that wouldn't happen if it was maybe two more strings. I think right because this is 30 strings, which meant that there was seven of one and eight of the other. Right? Yeah, something like that. Wait, uh, two, four, or was it six and seven? Whatever it is, it's one is an even number, one's an odd number, and as a result, in order to make up for that, the lighter color, which is the one that has less of, it ends up bouncing at those corners. and then the dark one doesn't. Yeah. Oh, it definitely does not use the colors evenly, although it wasn't a problem with the length of the strings I had, even though that I went over the length. Um, but it doesn't do it evenly, even though the pattern seems like two colors. It seems like it totally should, but it doesn't. So that's kind of a thing as well. Um, Trying to think what else was learned. Um, Oh, I definitely think that splitting the top like I did, right? I think that helped out a lot. I think if I had tried to bring this to a point like a lot of the other bracelets, I think that would have been, I think it would, when you wear it, I think it would have the chance of like curling up a lot more. So yeah, I don't know. Something to think about. All right. I am going to, I just pulled this up. So this person is interested in buying the wall hanging, but before they do, they want to know where I'm located. So that's weird. Anyways, all right. Um, because I'm gonna forget. Let's thank my Patreon supporters as well as my YouTube members for making this possible. It's a lot of string, guys. Um, I can't even remember how many skeins it was. It was like 6 or 7 skeins, I think. Lots of thread, and a lot of my projects, obviously this whole month has been just using a lot of string. So it's those guys that help me actually buy it. In fact, I got a crazy idea for another big project, and we just put in an order for it, and that was possible because of you guys, obviously. If I get to sell some stuff, that'll help out too. So you can go over and check out my shop over on akaawol.com. The URL is the akaawol.com/shop. And so you could buy stuff. And that's another great way of supporting the channel. And then you end up with something cool. So this'll this'll make its way into the shop eventually, I think. Although I'm kind of tempted. This could, maybe I'll hold on to this one. Not because I want to save it for myself, but I'll hold on to this because this could be one of the giveaways for the secret word game. I think this would be a great one for that because it's so, incredibly, long and whatever. So yeah, that could be a thing. Um, yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. You guys can win it. All you have to do, by the way, the secret word game is basically come and hang out with us on the live streams, chat with us. If you happen to text in the right word, there's a bot will spot that, and then it'll do congratulations and all this kind of stuff, and tell you that you won. And then yeah, you end up with a couple cool bracelets. So yeah, that's something to, what else? Yeah, this is weird because honestly, if I could have actually sped this up a little faster, I probably would have because I couldn't think of a lot of things to tell you about this bracelet. Um, it's just super time consuming. Um, it's nice though. For anybody who has been making bracelets a while, if you are skilled at it and you want a challenge, this is a good one, right? Um, there's a lot of easy things out there we can make, and a lot of things that are, you know, just sort of, we can just kind of go through the motions and it doesn't take much. This one, this one is a proper challenge. This one really took a lot of concentration, a lot of, how am I doing? You know, it's, it's pretty neat. And, there's elements like this where there's these really nice long row and like that kind of told me I was done with the segment. Well, that was a neat thing too, because there's only like 3 of these big whatevers, despite the fact that it took 4 hours to make and it was over the course of a couple days. It didn't feel like it took so long. It didn't feel like it was a big chore. Um, I don't know. I was sort of pleased with that. I kind of really was enjoying getting it into the routine, working on it. I don't know. It was nice. Oh, here I realized if I did the other part on the side that where the little diamond part is, would have this slightly longer row and seriously start trying to like find ways of doing more segmenting because you really can't do much segmenting because the zigzags really kind of don't give you a whole lot of room for all of that. And it's a whole lot easier to stay concentrated in these smaller pieces and don't get too far ahead of yourself because then you really could make mistakes. Oh my God. So yeah, there's something that um, definitely feels like a lesson to be had there. Um, by doing the strips, um, kept me kind of focused in one little area. And then because of the way like the dart goes all the way straight across and stuff, little things like that definitely kind of help me to stay on track. See, this side, I didn't do the same thing where the light came through, you know, in a longer row. Because again, just kind of keeping track of where you are and trying to remember to bounce the light color back in. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's and I think there was, you know, again, if I had do this a couple times or something, I think this would have gotten easier because at some point I make less mistakes. Although I did make some kind of towards the end when I was kind of getting excited. Oh, and I was watching anime while I was working on it, and the story had this huge arc and building up and getting super excited. I was going to use the word animated, but that's like kind of funny when you're talking about anime, right? Um, Huge art build up, and I got a little too into it, and so that caused some trouble. But it was a really good show, guys. I don't know. Um, what else? Oh, a large portion of me making this was done while I was on live streams for the members of YouTube, which is down by the subscribe button. There's a thing that says join, and then it's like it's $5 Singapore. So I think that's like $4 USA. And I have no idea where you are, but that might mean that your currency is even different still. But yeah, for $5, you get to watch all the videos that are already recorded. You get to see behind the scenes to where I'm recording things like even this right now is being live streamed for them to watch. And then, yeah, then after I get done recording this, I'll go and finish editing up the video. And yeah, that'll be a thing. kind of fun. So yeah, you get to see all kinds of fun stuff when it comes to that, I think. Because, yeah, behind the scenes stuff, there's all kinds of stuff I'm doing and video editing and stuff going on. And the other day I took me 2 hours to make 3 minutes of video. So, you want to see how I can waste 2 hours? Um, yeah, that was a couple days ago. So, yeah. Well, it'll be a lot longer from if you're watching this video on its regular scheduled date, but so it'll be a while back. But yeah, fun stuff, guys. Don't miss out on that. Yeah, I think we're in the final diamondy thing. So yeah, I don't know when it changed over to being on the wrong pattern. So the strings, you can see them in kind of groups. That has to do with I have little clips off of the board, and that way I can get strings that are not in use out of my way, which definitely helps speed things up and makes it easier to do all this stuff. So if you've got the space to do that, that definitely works. It definitely is worth doing. Yeah, and I'm using one of these kind of clips, which this kind of binder clip actually clamps pretty hard. Um, so do these, by the way. This, mind you, this kind, they were getting kind of rusty, so I got some of that felt that you can use. Like it's sticky on one side, so I put that in there and made it so that way I don't get rusted stuff on my work. Just that's a bonus tip for you guys. If you stuck around this far, you got something cool out of it. Yeah, so that's the inner diamond part there, right? I'm trying to judge where it is on the thing so I can kind of guess. I always kind of get surprised at the end, and then I don't, I get like worried about saying the thing that, that I'm out kind of thing. But I still think we're a little ways away. Yeah, that's the little diamond thing is. So yeah, it's close. That's there's still a long dark one to come down. Here it comes. But yeah, I think I will play with a similar pattern. Because now looking at this thing, I think I could change how the center of the diamonds are. And then from there, I might be able to make it into something even more intense. If that's seems, yeah, could be cool. I don't know how many strings. Yeah, we'll see. I don't know when I'll work on that project either. That could be soon, or I could set that aside for a little bit. I'm kind of leaning towards soon because if I'm going to end up selling this thing, well, mind you, I never anticipated selling this. This was something that I kind of made it for just the fun of doing it and kind of making it, you know, just to prove an idea, a concept. But yeah, if I'm going to sell it, then I would kind of want to have my pattern created now before it's gone and I can't look and use it for my inspiration. I mean, I could take a photo, but it's not the same. So there we go. Finish the whole right part of it, and all those strings go off to the side, and have to do the same thing over here on the left. So yeah, it was quite the doozy here. Thank you for hanging out with me this long. This is a lot longer of a video than it probably needed to be. But, you know, I try to make it interesting. I try to keep it fun. And yeah, I mean, if you're still here, obviously either you like the sound of my voice or you're hoping to learn something, or I don't know. Whatever it is, I do appreciate it. I'm really glad that you are sticking around. So thank you very much. And yeah, here comes last couple little rows. So yeah, guys, thank you. And as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.